Welcome back to Retail Therapy, episode 26. My name's Will. In the studio with me today, as always, my co-host Barrett Dudley. Barrett, how's it going today?
It's going all right. Everything is totally on the up and up, but I will voice a little bit of frustration. And here's what it is. About 5 days ago, I'm looking at the weather forecast for a little holiday shindig that's happening on Saturday evening. Looking pretty perfect, between 50 and 60 degrees, maybe 11% chance of rain. Every single day I've checked back in, that temperature just keeps clicking up. Now we got scattered thunderstorms and a high of 78 on Saturday, and I'm a little bit bummed.
I'm over it, man.
Yeah.
I'm over it. I was having a beer the other day with Brett Merriman. He does business development for us here at Washed Media. He's the host of the Mail In podcast with my wife, Sally. And I was wearing a green jacket. I had a beer in front of me. I was looking a little cozy. And he looked at me and he was just like, "This is how you're supposed to be." And I was like, "This is how I'm supposed to be, Brett." And unfortunately, this Texas weather, it really just takes me out of my wheelhouse every single December.
And we were having a nice run, sustained cool weather, able to throw on your little light jacket or cardigan or whatever and just make it coast through the day. And now we're right here at the holiday party weekend. We're just getting absolutely boned.
We decorated our Christmas tree, and I bought a bunch of firewood because I was like, man, what better than a crackling fire next to a Christmas tree? Now when I go to bed at night, the air conditioning's on.
Do you have a Christmas tree vibe? Do y'all have an aesthetic for your Christmas tree?
Our Christmas tree.
Do you know what you're going for? Or do you just slap on the lights and the ornaments and that's that?
What we did is that early on in our relationship, we decided just to buy a bunch of ornaments and do an investment up front for a bunch of ornaments that had to do with things that we enjoyed.
Okay.
So we do have a very personalized Christmas tree, but we're also fake Christmas tree people. Until I get a house of my own, until I have some space, I'm not going to go get some Christmas tree.
So is this one that pops out and it's got the lights already on it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
All
it is. And it's treated us well up until this point. And we don't have a topper, which is why we use a cowboy hat. But honestly, we get positive feedback on the cowboy hat most of the time. And so we just keep it going. Yeah, we just keep it going. And honestly, I kind of want my Christmas tree to have its own kind of personal style and aesthetic. And this year it's giving Western wear.
Yeah, I love it. We've been in a Christmas tree identity crisis, and now we are waiting, even though we were very early on the purchase of our Christmas tree this year. We were apparently not early enough on white lights. We decided to ditch any colored lights on the tree this year. We had some white strands, but we wanted to go all white. We were shopping around this last weekend. Totally gone. All gone. Many white lights for your Christmas tree.
We did something we never
Sold
do,
out.
and we bought a strand of the large colored lights, and I had no idea how much these actually cost. I might need to put them on my wish list moving forward, hoping that Sally gets them, because I was just like, what? How much for one single strand? We were just trying to put out a vibe to our neighbors from our balcony.
Yeah?
Nothing crazy.
You were seeing a high ticket there?
Maybe I just have a very unfair expectation of how much Christmas lights should be. Because in my mind, it should be $9.99 for all you can eat.
I mean, okay. Well, one single strand of C9 incandescents was what I think you're talking about. And those shouldn't be more than $12 for a strand of 25 or something like that.
Maybe we got hosed.
Did you pull up a Christmas tree or a Christmas light link from the Goop gift guide or something?
No, we didn't. We did not go full Goop. We didn't go Gwyneth Paltrow for it. I think we just went on Amazon and called it a day.
Huh.
Who knows?
I mean, that people be taxed. They're taxing out there. They're taxing.
They probably just the second it goes December 1, they're like, all right, time to absolutely shell these people.
We're gonna get to something on our on my out list that kind of connects to that.
This is our 26th ever episode of Retail Therapy, and I have to admit, today might be the most anticipated episode I've ever had. I've been looking forward to this episode. You and I were on the same page. We actually started doing our lists separately. We're talking about our in and out lists. Before we get into those, actually, and I want to get into them as soon as possible, let's do some quick announcements. First and foremost, go follow us on Instagram at retail.pod. We're having fun over there. We just eclipsed 7,000 followers. We're probably going to have just an absolute party in Austin when we hit 10K. Invite all the who's who of who's in Austin. Maybe get a really sceney photographer there. I heard Emrata and Pete Davidson might join.
That's what I've heard. Shallow request. If you're going to follow Retail Pod, will you also follow me?
Yeah, make that happen.
I'd love to get to 10,000 at the same time retail.pod.
What are you at right now?
7,300.
Okay, we can build.
Yeah.
We can build. I think we might need to start posting more mirror selfies and things of that nature on there.
Yeah, really gas up our own brand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We do listener companions with links and everything to pretty much everything we talk about. Go check those out at willtofreeze.substack.com. That'll get emailed out the same day that the episode drops. If there's ever a day where maybe I'm a couple hours late,
Yeah.
it's because I was sleeping in and the episode drops before. But it'll eventually be up there. Just know that. I'm not going to hang anyone out to dry. And finally, go watch our episodes at YouTube, on YouTube at youtube.com/Sunday Scaries podcast. Pretty much every single retail therapy episode is there except for one. But we like to have fun. We're having some desktop presenter issues. So while we're not doing what we've done all year up to this point, that's just Barrett just absolutely killing it on the ones and twos. We will have some on-screen stuff for today's episode that makes it a little easier to digest, and that's in producer Randy's hands.
That's our New Year's resolution, though, is to get the desktop presenter working again.
We'll have Retail Therapy Tech Day in the studio where we'll all,
That's right,
you'll teach me how to use Desktop Presenter so I can do it myself sometimes. We'll have you guys downgrade your iOS to whatever it would be. What are you on right now?
Yeah, I might have to do that because I went up to this Ventura, Robin Ventura, and it seems to have lost a lot of compatibility with a number of things.
I love that.
It's not just limited to Desktop Presenter. I won't get into the weeds on that stuff, but there are some things missing.
It sounds like between that and your Genius Bar appointment tomorrow, I'm not jealous. I'm not envious of the tech issues
I'm
happening.
having a bit of an issue with Tim Apple this week. That's no cap, you know?
Well, maybe there's some in and out list stuff that might dunk on them a little bit. But before we get to those, this week's in and out lists are presented to you by Early Bird CBD. We're big fans of Early Bird. I actually took one last night and I slept like an absolute baby. I did the thing where I woke up and it was still a little dark outside. And I tapped my phone thinking it was going to say 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
It said 6:20. And I was like, ooh, I slept through the night very well.
Wow.
If you're not familiar with Early Bird CBD, these are recreational hemp gummies that contain around 2.5 milligrams of THC and around 12.5 milligrams of CBD in each gummy. These are formulated for fun and to make you feel good without getting too lit. These were formulated with a micro dose of THC in them, so you do feel that little buzz. It is so nice before you maybe go out for the night. Maybe you're staying in for the night and you're just watching a little Christmas movie. You watch any Christmas movies this year, Barrett?
Yeah. You know, I always have to get in my Home Alones.
You have to?
The original and Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, obviously, and then a little Christmas Vacation as well. I think the first one I watched this year is The Santa Claus, starring Tim Allen.
Oh, wow. I haven't tossed that one on yet.
Who, by the way, just had like an all-time run in the 90s.
You did.
Between like Buzz Lightyear, the Santa Claus, and all while doing Home Improvement.
Yeah.
Like this man was on top of the world.
He had a good agent,
Yeah.
for sure. I might take two and get a little Family Stoned to the Family Stone.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Do we count that as a Christmas movie?
It is.
I think so.
It's a tough watch sometimes if you're feeling a little awkward, but it's good enough. I think
for whatever reason, I love that movie.
The early birds will actually help that awkward feeling that you might get while watching Sarah Jessica Parker
SJP,
just absolutely tank her stock.
Absolutely, yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you want 20% off everything at earlybirdcbd.com, go over there and use promo code WIX. This discount code is single use, which means you need to load your cart, especially if you're getting gifts for people, because you're going to want to keep some for yourself. And I will note that WIX is a new code for this podcast, and that means that if you've used a code in the past that was probably Scary's, you have a new opportunity to use this one-time code again. Again, that's 20% off everything when you use promo code WIX at earlybirdcbd.com. Barrett, this is big news for everybody. A few episodes ago, I think it was early November, you and I went through a couple lists from people. One was Starter Packs of New York City, where the admin of that account just did a screenshot of several things that she considered to be in and several things that she considered to be out. Some of those things were purses from when you were in middle school, kissing at the club but not fingering, hunter boots, low-slung belts not looped in, just hanging. Listening to whatever you like, things like that.
Yeah.
And then her out list had acrylics, going to after parties, tweeting like a hater, gum. I love that she's out on gum.
Just out.
I love that.
Out.
I have not abided by that. I've been chewing a lot more gum lately.
A lot of zebra. You're on that zebra stripes grind.
I found some high end stuff at the grocery store that is for like organic or something. Tastes like shit.
Yeah,
it's terrible. Yeah. And then there's another guy, Griffin Funk. He said the current mainstream is uncut gem shirts, freelance creative bios, ketamine, pearl necklace chokers, Carhartt, running a mood board, Instagram, Le Labo, Noir 29, F1, straight bros with painted nails, Birkenstock, Boston's, and house music. What Barrett and I have done is we've taken inspiration from these lists, and we've come up with our own lists to end out the year of retail therapy. Should we just dive right into these things?
Well, so I want to say two more things, off of your little intro there. I forgot that it was Starter Packs of NYC that sent out that list. And so I thought it was Nolita Dirtbag.
Yeah.
And so I started crawling around on Nolita Dirtbag. And that, along with putting together my list, I was looking at Nolita Dirtbag, I was putting together my list, and then we found the original Starter Packs of NYC one. It should go without saying that we're just not cool, like to the level of the NYC 20 somethings, essentially.
Correct. Yeah.
Like the level of things that they have to pull from, the inside jokes, it's just a different scene, man. Like, and what's weird is that I understand. It's just that it is the hub of culture. It's the center of culture because I understand everything.
It's the city that never sleeps.
I know exactly what every single spot they're talking about, whether it's Ray's or Carbone or whatever or whatever else, right?
Well, I got bad news for Carbone.
But it's like, but putting this together, I was like, man, we were really some washed up mid 30 somethings in a city that isn't as cool as New York.
That's why it was difficult to make this list.
So
I was putting stuff on here, and I was like, dude, like I don't like this. This is currently in, which means it's on its way out. Like it's difficult to do this.
Yeah, and I wanted to. I also think it's funny that you went in then out, which is the way that we are saying the list. But for whatever reason, I did out then in.
Okay.
I think because I was having trouble. I was having more trouble with the outs than the ins.
What do you want to start with?
I think we should start with the ins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start with the ins. This is my first time seeing Barrett's list. Can I read off some of yours? I'm just going to read off all of yours, actually. Unisex clothing. Restaurant hangs where you don't need a resi. Oh, I like that one. Sexy style. I have a little something similar to that.
Yeah, you do too. That's,
Loggers, all 90s and 2000s boy band hair. Ooh, okay. Millennials, drinks after dinner, chickpeas, pantsuits, physical menus, leather couches, Vespas, and tiny beanies. Physical menus.
Where do you want to start?
Physical menus.
Physical menus.
I like physical. I like that you're saying these are in. I think nothing did more for the QR code than the pandemic. That's we know.
That is absolutely correct.
But I absolutely crave a physical menu.
Dude, if you are a restaurant that thinks you are a good restaurant, like a nice sceney spot, you have to dump the QR code at the table.
You have to.
It doesn't even have to be laminated. Print the paper, kill the trees. I don't care. You have to hand me something. Do not look, because here's what it is. You sit down with your friends or your family or your date or whoever, and I've noticed a big change when I've been hanging out with people recently, and friends, family. People are sitting down and they're being very, very conscious to not pull out their phones. Have you noticed this?
Yes.
And I love that. So I hate it when you basically give everybody an excuse to sit down at the table and everybody pulls out their phones and is nose to the phone because it's like a dimly lit restaurant, and you're making me do my thumb and my forefinger to enlarge a stupid menu on the website. Like, give me the real menu. We got to bring these back.
What about the people that what about the restaurants that actually put it physically on their tables? Like they either got a little metal thing that they've fixed to the table, or they had it literally burned into the table. Like those,
the QR code.
They got to go throw those tables in a pile and set them on fire. Yeah, their QR code is just there.
I don't even care if you leave it there. If there are people that prefer the QR code for whatever reason, fine. But I'm over the QR code menu. I want it, I want to touch the menu. I want to see it. I want to look at it. I don't want to have to get out my phone to begin my meal.
I totally agree. I couldn't agree more. I do like a QR code for certain reasons these days, but the one thing I did like it for a little bit was restaurants, but I'm back out on that. You kind of hit the nail on the head with loggers here too.
Yeah,
I'm going to stay in the restaurant place right now.
Let's stay in the restaurant place. I've got there are a couple on my in and out list that are kind of like swaps.
Yeah, so I was going to say, if you have any that are one in, one out, let's just confront those.
So I'll combine my in loggers, out shitty hazy pale ales and IPA with catchy cans. Look, I went deep on the hazies just like everybody else. I love a good hazy pale ale. Shouts to Pine House Pizza's Electric Jellyfish.
Correct.
But it got to the point where every single cool local brewery, all the ones that all your, little local grocers and cool liquor shops stock, was making a hazy because that's what people wanted.
Yeah.
And after buying a lot of them, because I was like, oh, that's cool and local and has a dope ass can, 80% of them suck ass.
Correct.
They're really bad.
Correct.
You know what's never bad? Peroni, Stella Artois.
There you go.
They're just a nice, crisp, clean lager, something heavier than a Miller Lite, but where you can still drink 5 and not feel that bad.
I think we're
Like,
going to enter a world right now where you got 2 choices when you go to the bar. You're either getting a lager or you're getting a dark beer. Which one do you want? That's the rest of the cold season. Or
Yeah.
I say cold season. That's the rest of this winter and early spring.
and it's interesting because it's definitely I go into a lager mode basically starting around December. This is kind of perpetual for me, but like I get my winter warmers in Oktoberfest kind of out of the way, October, November, because that's when they're available.
Especially by the time Christmas is come,
they're gone.
I am done. I am done with the heavy beers. I don't want any more Christmas sales. I don't need any more Shiner Cheers in my life. Get them out.
Yeah, my favorite winter beer, like my favorite Christmas beer, is Stella.
I love a Stella.
Yeah,
I love a Stella. I even like the glass. I used to poo-poo the glass. I don't do that anymore.
No, you got to get the glass.
Well,
So that's where I'm at on the beers right now.
What about restaurant hangs where you don't need a resi?
Yeah. So and we can kind of connect this to that's on your out list, but we maybe should talk about it as well because you've got some restaurant stuff here too. But the reservation situation has gotten out of hand. And look, I want to go to Kanje here in Austin. I'd love to have a Cine dinner at Abba, just like everybody else, right? Sammy's, it's a great spot. But I'm really, really, really tired of having to book shit out 6, 8, 10 weeks.
Barrett,
just to have like a fun dinner with
the
my friends.
first restaurant that you just named.
Yeah.
I went there. I enjoyed it. I liked it so much that I knew I needed to make another reservation. I did that yesterday. I went on and I said, when's the first time I can get a reservation at this restaurant? Kanje, Canje in Austin. When's the first time that I can get a reservation not after 9 p.m.?
Yeah, right.
That was my only thing.
Sure.
I didn't want to do the late reservation. I wanted to have a very normal reservation time.
Yeah.
And I found a 6-person reservation at 8 p.m. on February 3rd.
Yeah.
I have to wait till February 3rd. I have to
Yeah.
wait 2 months to yeah. And so I'll get there eventually.
Like, right. And so that's great. It's nice to have something far off in the distance that kind of like surprises you and pops up and you're like, oh shit, I made that reservation. But I'll also say that I have done that. I've been doing this with La Piscina, a little restaurant, MML over at the Austin Proper Hotel, that I have had to punt on 4 months in a row because something else comes up. I've had to punt it back a month, 4 months in a row now because
you got to start going for lunch.
Dude, so it's just like, let's get back to some restaurants. At least let's pump up the restaurants where this is not happening because it means a lot of things if they are running smoothly, operating, and you also don't need a reservation.
I love it.
It means they're staffed up. It means they're big and typically have like spaces where it's nice and comfortable and you're not packed in like a sardine. It usually means they're not as expensive. And I just want to be able to say, what are you doing tomorrow night? Yeah. Let's go grab dinner.
Yeah,
let's go. Well, and
let's go get some drinks. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to like be scrolling Resi for 45 minutes saying, well, I guess we could go to District Kitchen and Cocktails.
It's so disrespectful that when you search any restaurant on the app, like that, you get the same restaurant at the top of the app every single time. It's like, I clearly don't want that restaurant. I don't care that they've paid to be at the top of the Open Table app. I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
Get this thing out of here. I'm not going there.
Yeah. While we're on restaurants, can we jump to a couple things on your out
You can.
list?
Yeah. Bring up anything you want.
Restaurants with locations only in New York City, Miami, Las Vegas, and LA.
I got bad news for your Nobus, for your Carbones, for those kind of restaurants. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm done. I don't care about the hype. I'd rather just go support somewhere local, somewhere that's been there for X amount of years. I recently went to a popular LA restaurant called Little Dom's for an Italian meal. And I have to say, I enjoyed it so much more than my experience at Carbone in Las Vegas.
Okay.
And part of it was because I just felt like I was actually contributing to the neighborhood where I had that meal.
Yeah.
As opposed to Carbone, I felt like I was just giving my money to this corporation.
Yeah, you're now funding like a restaurant conglomerate essentially.
Yeah, if you're one of these restaurants that only has your New York City, your Miami, your Las Vegas, your LA, your Scottsdale, I don't want to go there anymore. I'm done.
Yeah.
Thank you. But no.
Yeah. No.
You might
I totally like once it happens to those restaurants, some of the shine comes off too. Right?
Yes.
Like it's
well now like I've already been to the Carbone Las Vegas. I don't need to go to another one in a different city. I'm gonna assume that it's very similar.
Yeah, and it's probably and the New York one is probably better.
Yeah, probably.
But nobody will know that because there's like 4 locations now, and you're just gonna like experience one and be like, well, guess that was it.
I did have a lot of smug people when I asked what the order was for Carbone
Mhm.
in the Instagram story. A lot of people said the order is to not go there and go somewhere local. And while that was a smug answer and it wasn't very helpful to the cause, I get it.
Yeah, you absorbed it.
I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. I wouldn't have answered that to somebody as I was simply just I didn't have a choice in the matter. But yeah, I'm done with these chain restaurants that are only in bougie ass cities. I don't need to deal with that anymore.
Another piece on your out list.
Yeah,
Dirty vodka martinis.
dude. As I said on my
You're
list,
tossing out the olive juice.
grow up a little. Grow up a little. Learn what liquor tastes like, and just take that. But I'm worried about all these people out there that are just making their dirty vodka martinis way
Yeah.
too dirty.
Yeah.
They are not realizing that these are so dirty that it's taken away the alcohol flavor, and then suddenly you got your 3 sheets to the wind after 3 martinis because you just got yourself ahead of
Yeah.
yourself.
Well, I'm gonna be 3 sheets to the wind after 3 martinis, no matter what I'm choosing, whether gin, espresso, what have you. But here's what I'll say for the vodka martini drinkers out there. I used to choose a vodka martini because I liked the super icy coldness of
Yeah.
the liquor.
Mhm.
Gin does the same thing, but you get a nice little botanical herb
I'm so glad.
tone to it.
It's the botanicals.
But super ice cold gin martini, you get the same refreshing vibe, especially if you go for like with a twist or something like that.
Randy, add botanicals to the in list.
Botanicals.
Botanicals, Randy.
Yeah.
Another thing I had on my list for out that is restaurant adjacent, oysters.
Oh wow, I didn't even oysters out. Wow.
Honestly, should be higher on my list. It's the last thing on my list. I am personally out. I think there's other things out there that might deserve some looks these days.
Okay.
Maybe some hamachi crudos.
Yeah.
Maybe we're doing I don't know. Maybe we're doing some thinly sliced red meat with some truffle olive oil on there. I don't know. There's just if we're gonna keep eating these raw seafood things or
Mhm.
raw foods,
Yeah.
I'm kind of over the oyster thing for right now.
Okay.
It might come. I mean, this summer might be a big oyster summer, but I just feel like we're all doing a lot of oyster stuff these days, and maybe we just need to pump the brakes a little bit. Maybe we should try some other fish in the sea. Maybe we should understand that maybe oysters just are kind of a give up order for a lot of people right now. I'm not saying that you can't order oysters. I'm not saying there's not a place for them some places. I do love a good oyster bar. But what I am saying is that, maybe we need to expand our horizons on these raw bar dinner or
Yeah. Yeah.
seafood tower. Go get a seafood tower. You can have the oysters on there.
Get
But
on the seafood tower.
yeah, maybe seafood
Yeah,
towers
be a little
should
bit
be on
more
my in
bougie,
list.
please.
Yeah,
Thank
spend
you.
more. Spend more.
Okay, let's see. You read my in list. Let's go up to yours here. We've got giving arts and crafts.
I'm still not done with your in list, but yeah, I think we should
We'll
should
bounce around.
diversify.
We'll bounce around.
Yeah.
And I want to let the people know what's on yours here.
Okay.
Giving arts and crafts, loud handkerchiefs / bandanas,
Mhm.
letterboxed accounts, surfing socials in a browser, indoor sunglasses, aging, Filmsta accounts (parentheses Finstas for film),
Correct?
being a little slutty sometimes.
Got to be a little slutty sometimes.
Quote, let's just get a bunch of entrees and split them. And finally, YouTube.
I can explain any of these that you need more explaining on.
Okay. So, boy, lots to cover, obviously. But I don't think I know what a Filmsta account is. (Parentheses Finstas for film).
So everyone knows everyone knows that a Finsta is a fake account that is
Yeah.
just for your kind of squad members.
Right.
It's a less aesthetic thing. I don't think people are really using them as much as they used to these
Yeah.
days. I mean, no one that I really knew used them very hardcore anyway because I'm
Yeah.
old. But what I think now is going to happen is that people are just going to start making separate accounts for their film as opposed to just posting them on their normal stories or on their normal feeds. And it's just going to be film people out there.
Okay.
Cameras are coming back. We're going analog these days. I have a film camera that I would love to start dipping into more with my son.
So here's part of the issue. I read film as like a film.
No.
You're saying film
saying
as in
shooting on
photographs.
film.
Yes.
Shooting on
yes,
film.
Yeah. Okay. That makes
It's
more
something I would like
now
to do
it's-
more
Now
of.
that's tracking.
I think there is something very romantic about taking a photo and not seeing it for a very long time until that film has been developed. And
Sure.
I think we should all of us could be a little we could be well served by going back to that for a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like you should have put dark rooms on your in list.
See, I'm not a big fan of developing my own film as I'm
No.
afraid that I would just ruin it and I have a shaky hand. Darkrooms always creep me out too because a lot of people in high school, it was a very intimidating crew that used our darkroom in high school. I'm dating myself that we had a darkroom in our high school. It just makes me feel real
No, it was
old.
just a very hip high school, I think.
Yeah, that might be it too.
Probably that. Let's go to your number 8 because here's where we've got a little bit of crossover
Oh,
on our
yeah.
end lists. You have being a little slutty sometimes. I have sexy style.
Mhm.
Full disclosure, what I originally had is sexy men's style.
Okay.
So I want to talk about that.
Like nipples?
But yeah, But I changed that to just sexy style because that's more where I was. There was Laura and I have been talking a lot about kind of the fall of the Christian Girl autumn look,
Yes.
the decline of that, and
Yeah.
how there are a number of things now that just like immediately you snap to like, oh, that's Christian Girl autumn.
Yeah.
Like you can't take it away.
The floppy hats,
Yeah,
whatever.
the kind of ankle boots,
Yep.
just a bunch of those types of things, like skinny jeans, obviously, and then when paired together, obviously now you're in a costume. But the kind of I feel like the antithesis of that also ties into my unisex clothing,
Uh-huh.
which is just like the silhouettes are bigger,
Yeah.
and maybe like maybe you have like a little peekaboo moment, or maybe
Yeah.
you're just like all out in like something that is super showy,
Yeah.
super mini, a micro mini dress or something
mean-
like that. For guys, I'm still loving all of the mesh and the crochet and like ditch the tank top underneath. Just let those nipples fly. Like, but I see a lot of like, I'm seeing leather and pleather and more like bondage look out there too. So whether it's like cozy and oversized silhouettes, or whether it's just like, I'm about to go to the leather bar, like I like more sexiness.
Can I say what possibly might be the douchiest thing I've ever said on retail therapy?
Yeah.
I have never felt cooler in my entire life than when I got to wear my Ame mesh shirt
Yeah.
at a Michelin star restaurant in
Mhm.
Positano.
Yeah.
I felt like I was on top of the world. I was like, this is what dreams are made of. I'm nipples out at this beautiful restaurant, feeling sexy as hell.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. And this was like, I really, I erred on the side of optimism and progression and like championing people on this one, because I did think
Yeah.
about like, we've had so many lace shirts now. Like it's like the trend is being absolutely kind of inundated and saturated, right? You can get them anywhere now. But so I thought I almost went out on that type of stuff. And then the more I thought about it, my boy Cam on White Lotus was wearing a nice little like crocheting number on the most recent episode. And I just said, why would I kibosh that? Why would I stunt men from like showing out and feeling a little sexy about themselves?
And Aubrey Plaza, like I don't know what happened to her in mid-season. I mean, a lot of stuff has happened to her mid-season, but like she's going bra off like on the entire last episode.
How about that like blazer dress number with like the cutouts on the side?
Yeah,
That was sexy and slutty.
dude. Yeah, and when I say slutty, I mean that in like the most
The
like I'm
most positive
propping you
way.
up way.
Yeah,
Like I think everyone needs to get a little sluttier out there.
Yeah.
I think everyone needs to get a little flirtier.
I'm glad we're on the same page on that one.
Yeah, yeah.
What else you got? What do you want to talk about on your in list?
Let me see. I just think I am watching fewer and fewer movies in life, but I'm seeing more and more people talking about their Letterboxd accounts and just
Okay.
rating movies. And I think people are just getting more. Maybe Letterboxd accounts isn't the way to talk about it. Maybe it's just that people are tired of the traditional social medias, and now we're just getting into like what would like how we have like micro influencers.
Yep.
Now we
Yep.
just
Yep.
have micro social media sites, and Letterboxd is one of those. I even downloaded Letterboxd recently and started keeping track of my own. It's not a good list. I wouldn't consider myself to be a movie buff by any stretch of the imagination,
Yeah.
but I would like to see what other people are watching. In that same vein, there's two things that I think are kind of related here. One would be people surfing their socials on where did I put that in there?
Yeah, you did. You did. Surfing socials in a browser is on your in list.
That's the new heat.
Yeah.
Imagine having the app on your phone. I'm not contributing to Zuckerberg at this point.
So this is on your browser, but on your
browser.
phone's browser.
On your phone's browser. On your phone's browser.
You're scrolling Insta on your Safari browser.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Well, I'm not because it's my job that I have to post things, so it's more difficult. But if I didn't have a job in media, there's 100% chance that I would definitely be a browser scroller, so that I would spend less time on it and not have as many features on my phone.
Okay.
I think it's a good thing for screen
right.
time overall. Additionally, I also have YouTube, and by this I mean I think that people scroll. The youngs are and by the youngs, I'm not talking about my wife's family. I'm
Uh-huh.
talking about the young people,
Sure,
the
sure.
opposite of the
Yeah,
olds.
the youths, yeah.
The youths, they're just sitting there on YouTube instead of scrolling other stuff.
They are, yeah, yeah. I'm bullish on this. I've been on more YouTube recently.
I love it. I'm
You
not a YouTube scroller on my phone, admittedly.
I'm definitely not, but
On my Apple TV, I live in the YouTube app. It's one if unless there's something I'm specifically targeting on television, I will go to the YouTube app first and see if there's any fun, like 8 to 10-minute videos that I can rock out.
I also know that this is not it's intended usage for cool young people, but just to date myself and potentially segue into something else I have on my in list, you can also just learn to do literally anything on YouTube.
You can.
You want to know how to do something in Illustrator or Photoshop? YouTube.
I fixed
You want to know how to build a deck? YouTube.
I fixed some
Like,
tubing issues in my car, in my Subaru Legacy. And if you look at me, I'm the least mechanic person you've ever seen. I did it myself one time.
Yeah.
Because of YouTube.
there we go. Let me bounce over to my in list because this is one that I'm big on.
Which one?
Millennials.
Yes. That was I was going to ask you about this.
Back in 2023. Here's what happened, and we've talked about this, and I still find it one of the most fascinating things. But
Were we out going into 2022?
oh, for sure.
Okay, that's what I thought.
We have spent,
I was feeling the heat
we've
personally.
spent the last 3 years, 2020, 2021, and 2022 is out essentially.
Correct.
We've just been taking strays from the Gen Zs as they became the cool generation and the cool kids, and they started setting the trends, and we were doing side parts and skinny jeans and using the thumbs up and crying emojis and the crying laughing emojis.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Any emojis I was told were just out.
Here's gifts. Couldn't be me. It's always
No.
secret. It's always me.
Do not catch me. Do not catch me.
But here's why millennials I think are coming back in, because the pandemic is now over for all intents and purposes. Yes, I know COVID is still out there, but for the most part, it's over. Central Market yesterday,
Uh-huh.
the plastic panels in between you and the cashier gone.
Things you love to see.
I mean, that was something.
Yeah.
And don't forget, we basically invented all of this shit. Social media, constantly being on our phones, like this was our wheelhouse.
Oh yeah, we did.
The next generation just kind of like took it, ran with it, shaped it, made it a little bit edgier and cooler. But you give us the 3 years on the outside looking in, I think we are very, very poised to essentially steal the ball back.
Let's do it
and start making waves.
I think it's fair, and I also think that like when it comes to style and everything, like so much 90s and early 2000s style is coming back that like this is our wheelhouse.
Yeah.
We know exactly how to handle this situation.
Right.
There's a reason that like my brain is just defaulting back to all the things I liked in high school, which were pretty much skateboarding, fast rock music, and hating the government. Like it's just like I feel like I'm morphing back into like what I was when I was a
16-year-old
senior.
Will, man, he hated the man.
My parents were so pissed when I went to an anti-George Bush rally with my sister. And then I think I voted for him in the next election. Like I had no basis for anything back in the day. It was great. I miss it.
Tell me about indoor sunglasses. I don't know if I don't know if I can get in on that.
Hold on. So I didn't know how to phrase this.
Yeah.
Maybe this is where I need the help.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, after I put this on my list, one Hailey Bieber posted an Instagram last night where she is wearing exactly what I was envisioning.
Okay.
These are not sunglasses where you can't see the person's eyes. These are simply tinted glasses.
Got it.
That would be considered sunglasses by all means.
Yeah.
But these are now worn as fashion pieces indoors acceptably and not looking like a dickhead.
Okay.
Like someone in the airport wearing them because they're hungover.
I gotcha. Yep. I gotcha.
This is not something that I see myself doing. A lot of these things that are on my in list are not things that I see myself doing, but these are things that I just want other people to be embracing a little bit.
Yeah. I like this. There's a sunglasses brand called Aquila, which it kind of like steals from the trends of the super high end guys like Jacques Marie-Mage, among others. And like, they've got a lot of those like rose, light blue, light yellow tinted lenses. And it's, you can get in here for, nominally $100 instead of $700, which is nice.
I was at a UT basketball game recently and I saw a guy and I've seen him before around town. And the reason I know who he is because he dresses phenomenally. Some people will say that he dresses like a total asshole. This guy was wearing a throwback KD jersey and he has some giant glasses on. And I heard someone say as he was walking up to go get another beer, I heard someone say, "What is that guy wearing?" Like in a very demeaning way. And all I could think was, "What is that guy wearing?" Like I just loved it. And I don't know. I could never it was almost like the glasses from the dude in Ocean's 11, the older guy. Like the really big like black round glasses. And it's not something I could ever pull off, but if I see someone in public doing it, I'm like, "Yes.
Yeah.
You're trying to catch a vibe right now, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you."
Yeah. Man, where do we want to go next? Should we jump over and should we read the out lists?
Let's go through the outs. Let's go through the outs. I'll let you read your out, and then
Okay.
I'll read my out.
All right. Here's what's on my out list. Teslas, pad thai, shitty hazy pale ales with catchy cans, anything under a 7-inch hem. That's referring to pants and jeans.
Okay.
Mullets / the baseball player haircut. Reselling. Please stop. Reselling everything, just all of it. Just cut it out. New Balance 550s. Brussels sprouts on menus, to go back to some restaurant knocks. The Siri voice on TikTok.
I'm in on that.
And balaclavas.
Balaclava surprised me.
This is a stupid trend.
This surprised
This
me.
is stupid.
Can I tell you? I'm going to tell you immediately what I co-signed immediately.
Yep.
That I don't need much explanation on.
Okay.
I'm not saying we can't talk about these,
Sure,
but these are things that I co-signed immediately.
Yeah.
Teslas, hazy pale ales with catchy cans, reselling, New Balance 550s, Brussels sprouts on menus, Siri voice on TikTok.
Yeah.
Those are immediate co-signs for me. I'm done.
Okay.
I have a pair of 550s that I just am looking at. I had a great time with them. I'll
Yeah.
always look back fondly on my time with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't put them on anymore for some reason. I can't do it. I don't want
Yeah.
to. I don't want to.
It's a problem when a very cool shoe looks 10 times better in a photograph than it does on your feet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not good. That's not what I want.
I just liked wearing them. Like I kind of liked how they
Yeah.
felt on my
They're,
feet.
they are a comfortable shoe,
I'm gonna miss it.
but they got absolutely just obliterated on Instagram, and
everyone got them too.
they put out 50 different versions. 100 if you include all the general releases, and it's just it's not a good enough. It's not like a. For me, it just doesn't have the like long lasting cachet of like an Adidas Samba, which is kind of never not cool,
Yeah.
but is sometimes very cool.
Yeah, it didn't. It never reached that classic status of like not going to go away.
Yeah.
I saw Dave Portnoy wearing some courtside with some skinny jeans, and the second I saw it, part of me died.
That was like 18 months ago.
I was like, I can't
Yeah.
do this anymore.
I don't
That
think
wasn't 18 months.
Yeah, it
That was
was.
last season.
No. I think that was 2 basketball seasons ago.
No, maybe.
I don't think I've seen you and yours since that photo got posted.
It hasn't.
I'll tell you
You
that
haven't.
much.
I can tell you that much too. You haven't.
Real quick, I just wanted to touch on the Teslas thing.
I also want I want balaclavas right after Teslas.
Okay,
I'm queuing
all right.
that up on Spotify. I'm swiping over and putting that in the playlist.
Okay. There's just a note on Tesla, because I know that everybody thinks this is that my angle is the Elon angle. It partially is. He's kind of revealed himself to be a clinical douchebag. But way beyond that, there's just so many cooler, better options out there. Why is Tesla not required to change its body style every 4 years like BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Volvo, and every
Teslas
other
are
cool
normie,
car
dude.
brand?
They're normie at this point.
They've not changed the body style in 10 years.
Are you trying to scoop a Rivian?
Hell yeah, I'm trying to
Yes, you
scoop a
are,
Rivian.
my friend. I would love a Rivian.
Dude, I parked next to one. I've seen them on the road. I parked next to one at the grocery store the other day. That shit is hot fire.
Dude, they're cool.
Truck me up in a Rivian.
They are
Get
cool.
that Tesla shit out of here.
I'm so glad you're going this route.
Yeah. So it's not, but it's not just like Elon Twitter. No, it's way more than that. It's that Tesla is kind of dated and old now.
I hate to say this, but I rode in a Tesla for the first time in a few years the other day. Not the other day, about a month ago. It was an Uber. And I got in and it was a brand new Tesla, and it was clean and nice inside, but
Yeah.
I still was like, man, Elon's current situation has really tanked the stock for me when it comes to being excited about being in this nice car.
Yeah.
I just wasn't into it. So balaclavas have been all over my TL for the last like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Especially today.
Yeah.
The ALD Drake's dropped today. They had theirs.
This was a late ad for me. I saw that ALD Drake's put one out, and I said, that's it. It's going on my out list.
I'm not opposed to this. I've never really been in on it, as I've never really understood why you want to look like you're an Eastern European robber. But that's just me.
Yeah. It's so sometimes trends bubble up that are just it's weird because for me, obviously, we live in Central Texas, so what I'm about to say is pretty specific to us. But balaclavas here are about as useful as well. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that joke anymore. They are not. They are not useful here.
No.
There is zero function. So, over the years, we've sometimes talked about things, like on Club Cool, where we'll call it like a New York trend, where like you can kind of only get away with it if you're in New York or LA,
Yeah.
or in a walking city like Chicago, maybe even. So
Like
stuff
the
like
trend hasn't gotten so popular that there's familiarity in the other cities. Like you just
or even like just like the hip pack, but you'd like sling it around your shoulder, right?
Yeah.
Like I can do that at ACL.
Yeah.
But where else am I going to utilize that? We're a car city. We drive everywhere.
Yeah.
Like a tote is far more functional for us than
You're
like
right.
a cool hip pack.
You're right.
So there are just sometimes trends that are that just like make sense in like a fashion city, but don't really make sense here. So this is one where it's like I understand the functionality of a balaclava if you live in Winnipeg,
Yeah.
but like if it's not getting to sub-zero temperatures on the reg and you need to be like outside fucking cross country skiing or something.
You don't need it.
There's no point in this, and it's you're just covering up your face. There's no way that having wool covering your entire face, except for your eyes, is comfortable. Like you're messing up your hair.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the number one killer for me. I don't even like wearing hats because I don't like messing up my hair. I do think messy hair is in right now, so maybe it doesn't matter. I didn't put that on my list, but it was an honorable mention.
It's just like a little too if you are wearing a balaclava, it's for the gram basically. Because I'm not going to sit here and do a podcast with you wearing a balaclava. I'm not going to go to dinner. I'm not going to go grab martinis with you at Howard's in a fucking balaclava.
No, that'd be weird. I'd be a little bummed if I was supposed to meet someone for a drink and you just walked in and you had to, and I was like, wait, are we getting? Is someone casing the joint? Or oh no, it's just Barrett just getting an absolute fit off of his balaclava.
Yeah. So I find this I kind of find this trend atrocious.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I don't need that. I'm officially co-signed on that one. I've heard you talk a lot of trash about the Siri voice on TikTok. Can we just agree that everyone thinks that's annoying at this point?
Yes.
Like, just figure it out. Do something else.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to explain reselling.
No, it's annoying. My note there is that this extends to way, way beyond sneakers. People are reselling literally everything. If there is a market to be cornered, people are doing it. And I hate like knocking a hustle. I hate knocking anybody's hustle to make extra cash. But this one is super, super annoying.
It's not great. It's not great.
Like I would just bet the amount of time and energy that you're putting into that, I feel like you could put into something else and make cash a different way. Because you're just fucking over your peers and your people and your other fellow humans. That's all you're doing.
Can I ask you about two more of yours on your list? The ones that I want to look at are pad thai, as well as anything with under a 7-inch hem.
Yeah. Okay.
Start with pad thai.
So my pad thai one is kind of just a shot out of left field. I like pad thai, but I'm kind of throwing this in with your oysters. Like, explore the menu a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're just stepping up to like pad siu, just to like make it a little different.
I know.
Just it's just a little too basic, and I feel like you can have a little bit or a lot more fun on the Thai menu.
I kind of feel this way. We used to be Thai people. We used to be big Thai eaters. We've since started getting way more into Indian food as of late.
Mm-hmm.
And all we order is the butter chicken, which feels like the pad thai of Indian food. And I'm like, man, what if we just didn't do butter chicken one time?
Yeah.
What if we got some kind of wild ass vindaloo?
I know it's scary. There are several places where I order the same thing every time.
Yeah.
But you got to branch out.
Yeah, I agree with this. I'm kind of, whenever someone gets pad thai, I'm like, man, you're only getting that because you have no idea what anything else means on that menu. That's why. I like a good pad thai, but yeah, there's so much other good stuff. What about Barrett? I'm a noted short leg person, and it kills me that I have to have an over 7-inch hem. But I get it.
Here's the thing.
I get it.
There's something called fit migration, which is where, like, because the trends change and because you see different things and because it slowly starts to like filter into your brain that one fit is good and another fit is no longer as good.
Yeah.
You will put on something with a 7-inch hem and you will say, this is kind of skinny. Like 7 inch is what I promise, regardless of what your legs look like, or how long they are, a 7-inch hem is not going to look baggy.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
the wave, the vibe has shifted to a degree where like
Okay.
baggy is like 9-inch plus.
Yeah, I have 2 pairs of pants that I would consider to be baggy.
Yeah.
One is something that I wear often, and I thought that I would get comments on it from people. No one has ever said one thing about the cut of the pants, anything. I think people just think they're my normal pants. The other pair is so baggy that I'm like legitimately worried to wear them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sally was like, "What? What are you doing?" But
Yeah.
I still like I put them on the other day because I was like, "Ooh, I feel like these baggy pants would go well with what I'm wearing on top. I'm gonna toss them on and see."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Man, I could wear these. I would be fine." But it's just scary. There's something scary about wearing that baggy stuff out for the first time.
Yeah. And I mean I don't know if anything like kind of got it singed into our brains the way that slim fit stuff did
It did.
over the decade,
It did.
from 2010
There
to
was a big
essentially
vibe shift when everyone started like only slim, like had to be
yes,
slim.
yes. And so it's something that's really difficult to like break away from.
Yeah.
But my point here is that if you are this is more like a directive on if you think that you are fashionable or you want to have your clothes say that you are fashionable. Anything under a 7-inch hem won't look that way.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Noted. Very much noted. You're out on mullets. You're done.
Done on the mullet.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
And my that's my out. My in is all 90s, 2000s boy band hair.
Okay.
I'm clearly recency biased here.
No, I think this makes sense, though.
With my new look, but I'm going all the way here with the like do the Justin Timberlake popcorn thing.
I would love to see someone doing that.
Get crazy with like the
Are we entering an era where like you go out with your like crew and you might just low key look like a boy band?
we might be, yeah.
Because
yes.
I could see that happening. Like you accidentally take a crew picture and you're
Yeah.
all excited and
Yeah,
like you're like,
yeah.
oh, we look like in sync.
Maybe a little hard gel in your hair.
Yeah, I might get the goggles that wrap around the head. Yeah,
yes,
I might do that.
Yeah.
Like-
But basically, just pull up like any pictures of like 98 Degrees, In Sync, or the Backstreet Boys, and like pick a hairstyle. That's where I'm at. If you just really want to like throw caution to the wind,
I need a new hairstyle. Maybe I'll do this
and go nuts out there.
I might go straight Joey Fatone in 2023.
But the mullet, I just like I see it. I'm just like it's Alex Bregman. That's George Springer. That's
it's
Mike Trout.
Yeah,
like,
it's become
Bryce
kind of
Harper.
douchey baseball guy.
It's like a baseball player thing, and that's
It's very bro. It's turned very broy as
Yes.
opposed to very hipster.
Yeah,
It's no longer the dude pouring your coffee. It's now the dude telling you to get out of the way so we can order 6 Miller Lights and then bring them back to the table and his fingers like that. Yeah, it's not good.
Now, if like friend of the pod, friend of Wash Boosh, that's like a different level.
Well,
It's not. That's not like
he lives the lifestyle.
That's not like a trendy mullet. That's just like a straight up Joe Dirt mullet.
He lives the lifestyle of someone who should have a mullet. like it makes sense.
So I don't want to take that away from him.
No,
Yeah.
no. But yeah, I think the people that are doing it because they think it's like the new cool thing, you're gonna get exposed for this relatively soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will, why don't you read your out list?
Dirty vodka martinis. Grow up. Group texts. Uniform dressing. Arc'teryx, but only in cities. Minimalism. Restaurants with locations in New York City, Miami, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles. Anti-aging creams. Posting IG stories in the moment. Smartwatches and devices. And oysters.
Okay.
What do you want to hear from?
So I'm totally agree on the dirty vodka martinis. I love your call on the restaurants that have like the 4 big locations. Smartwatches, never been about them. I can't just I
don't even have my wedding ring on today. I have nothing on the hands.
Detech yourself, people.
Yeah, you don't need text notifications on your wrist.
All right, here's my question.
Yeah.
If it's a chilly, very rainy day.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to wear if not Arc'teryx?
You can wear your Arc'teryx. if what I don't want to see you doing, Barrett, what I don't want to see you doing is wearing your Arc'teryx on a 56-degree day in New York City where you're just standing outside maybe a very popular men's, I don't know, menswear store that also has a cafe. You don't need to have it on, but you just hope people see, "Oh man, Barrett spent $650 on that shell jacket."
Yeah.
We don't need it. We don't need it. Like, I don't wanna see you guys wearing the beanies with the Arc'teryx little, like, dragon
Yeah.
thing or
Yeah.
whatever it is on there. It's we know that you can afford it. The logos for me, they're on their way out. We don't need the big logos, and I know Arc'teryx is generally very minimalistic anyway. But like, I feel like it's become a thing, so much of a thing at this point that I don't care to see it. Unless you're skiing, unless you're doing something, unless you're scaling Mount Everest, you don't need the high end, top of the line Arc'teryx stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love Arc'teryx though. Like I ride for them as a brand, but I feel like it's almost like trite now to like wear it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, really. This is another one that just kind of like got beat in the ground by the TikTok kids
Yeah.
a little bit, with the shower videos and all that.
Yeah.
And so it's tough, and I am torn on it because I really like, and I still enjoy like the whole gorp movement.
I do too. I do too.
Like
I love it.
I like the crunchy and outdoorsiness of that.
I want to work for
But
Nike ACGs.
I do like when you see somebody that's like arced up to be arced up.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree that that's out.
Yes.
Let's also touch on group texts. I think I find this one interesting because one, there's no way that I'm leaving my group text. Two, I don't know if it's just because I've been super busy the last 3 months, but I've been feeling less engaged and almost disenchanted with group texts recently.
I'm in so many group chats at this point. The other day, I looked down at my phone and I saw that I had 60 text messages and 0 notifications about text messages. I opened up my texting app and I saw that I had about 8 different group texts going off. All of them I had muted. And I thought to myself, man, you don't want to be in these anymore, do you? And it's just a lot. It's a lot of keeping up. They've turned into email threads that you can't escape. There's no easy out on them. There are group texts that I'm in that aren't relevant to my life at all at this point. And I have no way of getting out of them without sounding like a dick. I think we need to have one day a year where you can just get out of any group text guilt-free.
Where you can leave and nobody's allowed to guilt you for
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Like,
It's just like, hey, I don't really watch this sport as much anymore. Do you guys mind if I just head out? I mean, I talk to you guys every day anyway.
I almost think that you have to treat them kind of like your Twitter feed. Look, you don't see everything that crosses that gets posted by somebody that you follow.
Yeah.
You check into your Twitter feed when you can, you scroll for a little bit, maybe you blast out a tweet, maybe you volume shoot depending on the moment or the situation. And then you move on. Then you close the app and you come back whenever else. That is I've noticed that is what is happening in like one of my main group chats. Whereas like it's generally 3 people kind of going off on something. And maybe you're not that interested in it, or maybe you're busy and you just like wait till the next thing pops up that you're more interested in, or when you're free to contribute.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but like if I miss something in the group text, I'm no longer like scrolling 87 messages
Agree.
up to see what was said.
I will click in, click out, not even think about it
Yeah.
anymore. And if I missed it, I apologize. But hey, there's a lot of stuff in there. You can't expect everyone to read everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else you want to touch on from your out list?
Let me see. Posting IG stories in the moment. What are you doing? What are you doing? What if something better happens and you're like, shit, I already posted that. I got to delete that. I got to get the better picture up there. No, just save it.
Save it for your film stuff.
And like, just be careful out there. Like, you don't want to go get mugged because you're like, oh my God, we're walking here. Like, no, don't do that.
That's true.
Don't do that. You don't want someone to see your geolocation. Then
That's
they're like, oh, they just posted a photo of them like fucking vaping, and I don't know who's posting them vaping on Instagram. Whatever. Like you're posting a photo with your like high-end purse from
Right,
this
yeah.
restaurant, and then
Yes.
suddenly some dude walks in and you're murked. Bye.
Yeah.
I don't know why I went that dark route.
No, because that I don't want to be. Look, we're at that age where it might start buying into a little bit of that fear mongering out there.
Yeah, maybe.
There's some shit going down. I've heard stories from friends about stuff. Not from a social post, but like being followed home from a restaurant.
So
That type of thing.
Yeah.
Like there's wild shit going on out there.
Something I did that I really enjoyed, and it actually made my life better, was when we were in Italy, I told myself I wasn't going to post anything in the moment. I was going to take my phone out only to take photos of things, and I was going to put my phone away. And I ended up having a really enjoyable time in my downtime of editing the photos, going through my old photos, and then just doing a mass upload of them and just like putting them all up that way. I enjoyed doing it more that way, and I think it's because I enjoy taking in people's content that way. My good friend
Yeah.
Katie, who's been on this before, she runs Lux and Nix, does a lot of travel work, and she's been a nice guest on the podcast. She's helped out a lot of listeners. She actually was the first person that started doing this on my feed, and she would do it from her travels everywhere. And when she started doing that, I was like, I like watching the evolution of your trip happen all at once. And I can see
Sure.
4 days worth of content
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
really feel like I was actually like there as opposed to riding along with you the entire time and just seeing one or two stories sporadically all the time.
Yeah.
I like seeing the whole story in front of me.
Yeah, you also, I mean, this is also like something that can be bad with social media is that people talk about ad nauseum, like you're really only seeing somebody's highlights.
Yeah.
But for something like a trip, I kind of just want to see the highlights.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you don't need to post every single thing from every day that you're there. Like so I hear what you're saying about kind of like editing it a little bit to show the best parts of each day. And I think that's more digestible and more enjoyable content for your followers, whether you're just shooting out to friends and family or whether you're a whole ass influencer.
Yeah, exactly. And the final thing I have on mine is number 5, minimalism. Mainly talking about that in graphic design. I feel like we need to get out a little bit.
Sure.
I feel like people are getting a little boring.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone's using Canva now to like make acceptable graphics for social media. So everything's starting to look the same and everything's intentionally minimalistic because it's easier to do and pull off if you have a good template, whatever. Now, I think we need to get a little messier, a little more chaotic. I mean, obviously I have anti-aging creams on there because of our chaotic queen, Julia Fox.
Sure.
And I think we need to get a little more chaotic all over everything, mainly graphic design and stuff like that. I'm just kind of over the
I'm into
boring.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a bunch of shit thrown at the wall.
Shouts to like Brain Dead and Online Ceramics,
Exactly.
Like,
I like the chaos of that now. I
get
think it's more
get
fun.
loopy with it.
Like, and I have when I had in the out, I had like uniform dressing.
Yeah.
Like that is to me, that's the same thing as minimalism. I don't care if you're uniform dressing at this point. We got through the pandemic. We all started dressing a little more dumbed down because we didn't have to dress up for anything. Now we're over it. I think it's time to peacock and everyone needs to have a little bit more fun.
Like we said, make it slutty, make it sexy.
Get slutty, start getting like slutty layers on and just do it. Just do it.
There's only one more thing I want to touch on. If anything else piques anybody's interest here, please feel free to get at us to ask what was that about, such as Vespas. No further comment on that. But tiny beanies. We had our week of the tiny beanies. I admitted that they're not for me, and I still feel that way. But here's what I was thinking, and the reason why I included these on my in list. For the most part, tiny beanies have been living in the realm of your fashion guy, your Soho guy, your hipster guy, your baristas, your that dude.
Yeah.
Right? With the bean. But they've not really trickled down into the mainstream.
Correct.
And I just had this vision of our guy Dave Ruff walking in like his Howler Brothers trucker jacket and like a tiny beanie on with his mustache. And I was like, I need tiny beanies to come all the way, to reach a guy like Dave.
I like tiny beanies.
Yeah.
I know they get made fun of by people. I like them.
Cause like I think he'd kind of pull it off a little bit.
I kind of feel like gigantic. I feel like the thing that's out is like normal fitting beanies. I feel like large ones are coming back. They're storming in. They're storming in real big.
Like slouchy Ashton Kutcher style?
No, I'm thinking more like very folded, but like almost
Okay,
like
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
big,
yeah.
like
Right.
round
Yeah.
kind of feeling. They're not deep, but they're voluminous in fabric.
What about my one from DC Shoes that has a little mini brim on it?
Dude, I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine. If you're doing anything with skate gear, I'm in at this point. I am so in. But Barrett, we had other stuff to talk about today, and guess what? We're not talking about that stuff. That might have to get punted. I think. Are we going to do one more episode before the year's out?
I think we will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deal. This was fun.
This was great.
Do you even want to add anything to your wish list this week?
Not really.
I'm adding something. This is so. I hope Sally buys it for me for
All
Christmas.
right.
I want one thing. I haven't put anything ALD on my wish list in a long time. There's one thing I want. I should have gotten it myself, but I haven't done it yet, and it's sold out on their website.
Drake's balaclava.
I want the purple tie. I need a tie that I can wear with my green suit because at this point, I've already worn my green suit a million times with the same tie, and I'm not going to get rid of the green suit anytime soon. This is the tie that I want to pair with it for my next non-summer wedding. I want to have a little dark, like purple moment with my green suit. I'm putting it on the list.
Okay. I will add something, and it's actually it's more of an imminent cop.
Okay.
Because I've already purchased it.
Okay.
I was very inspired recently by a picture of Austin Butler that I saw on Reddit, and you may see me imitate the kit a little bit on Saturday.
Let's go.
And what I needed to pull trig on to really make it pop and to do the whole thing is a pair of Doc Martens.
Okay.
So and you know I'm a shouts to all my fellow short kings out there. I went for the Bex. The 1460 is the very classic 8-eye Doc Marten. The Bex has the thicker lug sole.
Yes.
I'll take every inch I can get.
Oh yeah.
And I've got two options coming in. I've got the round toe and then something I probably should have put on my in list. I know this is scary, but square toe.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's square toes in.
I've got a square toe option coming just to see. The round is very classic, very traditional, kind of, can't go wrong.
Like you waited till after the hour mark of the podcast to
you-
say that square toe is in.
But you know that I like to kind of get out there with it a little bit too. So you might see me rocking the square toe. We'll see.
I don't hate this.
But
I don't hate this. I've got
is-
some new boots coming in the mail.
And don't get me wrong, Doc Martens. This is not new. This is not like, ooh, Doc Martens are suddenly popular. Now they've been popular. I'm just finally adding them to the wardrobe because I was so inspired by this one kit.
I think I have some Bloodstones coming in the mail, so
Yeah.
I probably have them on my wish list somewhere. But
Yeah.
I've got Sally bought some for me for Christmas, and they are a imminent arrival. I'm excited.
Boot boys,
Blue
rise up.
boys. All right, guys. This has been fun. Yeah, like I said, there's not going to be as much on the listener digest this week, just because we only covered like our ins and outs.
Yeah.
So I'll be putting those up there.
those
But
up there.
overall, go check it out. If you're a listener, go check it out on YouTube. Give us a chance to earn your business over on youtube.com/Sunday Scaries podcast. But other than that, I think that's all she wrote for today.
Great pod.
All right, let's get out of here.